Imagine spending the price of a small used car just to fly for one single day. No vacation, no hotel, no destination, just 24 hours inside one airplane and its lounges. Today I'm putting one of Asia's most famous luxury airlines to the ultimate test. The airline influencers call perfect, the airline reviews worship, and the airline marketing sells as the peak of human travel. But is it actually worth $3,500? Or are we just paying for a logo and a reputation? My journey begins long before boarding. Because true luxury aviation doesn't start at the gate. It starts at the airport entrance. And the moment I step out of the taxi, a suited attendant already knows my name. Not because I'm special, but because this airline promises personalization at scale. Something extremely difficult in modern aviation, where passengers are normally just seat numbers. Yet here, they attempt to turn thousands of daily travelers into individual guests. I am escorted past crowds into a private check-in room where there are no lines, no chaos, no loud announcements, only silence, marble floors and soft lighting designed more like a five-star hotel lobby than an airport. My passport is taken gently. Boarding pass printed on thick cardstock rather than paper. And within 2 minutes formalities are done, which already raises a question. Am I paying for transportation, or am I paying to escape the stress of airports themselves? Security comes next, but even that feels staged. A fast-track lane where staff guide every step, not rushing but smoothly controlling the flow. And within minutes, I am airside, while hundreds of economy passengers still stand in queues behind retractable belts. And suddenly, the first reality of premium aviation becomes obvious. Luxury in air travel is mostly about saving time and mental energy. Rather than distance traveled, then comes the lounge. Often advertised online as better than most hotels, and expectations are dangerously high because hype is the biggest enemy of satisfaction. The door is open, and I enter what looks like a miniature terminal exclusively for a handful of passengers. High ceilings, runway views, restaurant seating instead of waiting chairs, and an a la carte dining menu cooked fresh rather than buffet trays drying under heat lamps. I order a full meal, not because I am hungry, but because for $3,500 every detail must be tested. The food arrives plated like fine dining, not airplane. Catering, real cutlery, real glassware, and flavor that actually matches a city restaurant. And suddenly I realize something important. The airline isn't selling a flight. They're selling a controlled environment where nothing feels mass-produced. Showers are available, quiet rooms exist, and announcements are almost silent. Meaning your brain never enters the usual travel stress mode. Boarding time approaches, but there is no crowd forming at a gate, because premium passengers board directly from the lounge. A staff member personally walks me to a private elevator down to the aircraft level. And here sits the aircraft itself, a massive wide-body that online reviews endlessly praise as the pinnacle of comfort. Yet this is the moment truth begins, because the cabin is where marketing ends and engineering begins. Stepping on board, I'm greeted by multiple crew members. But unlike rehearsed smiles, this interaction lasts longer. They explain seat features individually, not pointing vaguely but demonstrating every function, and I reach my suite. A suite with a closing door, large screen, and more space than some train cabins. But hype has made me skeptical, so I start noticing details critically. Materials feel solid, not plastic. Storage is thoughtfully placed, and the seat padding actually supports the back instead of forcing posture adjustment. Small things most reviews never mention but frequent travelers immediately feel. Then comes the famous pre-departure service, a welcome drink served within seconds, and a hot towel that is actually hot rather than lukewarm symbolism. Pushback begins smoothly, and while taxiing, the crew continues preparing beds for overnight passengers, even before takeoff, showing confidence in service timing. Takeoff itself reminds me that no matter how luxurious the cabin is, physics still applies. Acceleration presses you into the seat exactly the same as economy. Yet perception changes because comfort shapes memory once airborne. The real test begins. Consistency, because any airline can impress for 10 minutes, but maintaining perfection for hours is the true cost of premium tickets. Meal service starts, and unlike normal flights, there's no cart rattling down the aisle. Dishes arrive course by course, like a restaurant. Pacing, controlled by passenger rather than crew schedule. I slow everything intentionally to test patience, and the staff never rush. refilling drinks exactly when empty, but never interrupting conversations or entertainment. And here I realize why some travelers call this addictive, not because it's luxurious, but because it removes every friction point of travel. The bed is prepared with an actual mattress topper, not a thin sheet pretending to be one, and lying flat at cruising altitude feels surreal as turbulence passes almost unnoticed due to padding and privacy walls. Reducing sensory awareness, hours pass, and I explore the entertainment system. Huge library, fast interface. But what surprises me more is Wi-Fi reliability, something airlines still struggle with. Yet here I can upload videos and browse normally, turning the aircraft into a flying office. And suddenly the value equation changes again because productivity has monetary worth for business travelers. Halfway through the flight, I walk around the cabin, analyzing wear and tear scratches. Minimal lavatories maintained continuously, meaning crew workload is enormous, but invisible, and that invisibility is part of the product you pay for. Approaching landing, I ask myself honestly, have I experienced anything revolutionary or simply an extremely refined version of normal flying? Because hype often promises magic, while reality delivers comfort, descent begins. City lights appear beneath clouds, and after landing the final test, arrival process, where most airlines lose their premium illusion. But here, a separate corridor leads directly to immigration priority counters. Bags appear first on the belt, and within minutes, I'm landside again. Completing a journey where the destination mattered less than the process itself. And yet, after spending half the $3,500 value in only a few hours, the real question remains unanswered. Was this genuine excellence, or just perfectly engineered perception? Verdad. I have to do something extreme. Stay inside the system for a full 24 hours and see whether luxury still feels special once it becomes normal. Staying inside an airline's ecosystem for 24 hours sounds easy until you realize airports are designed for movement, not living, and luxury loses its shine. The moment comfort becomes routine, so instead of leaving the terminal, I connect directly into another flight, repeating the experience intentionally to see whether excellence holds up when the excitement fades, because the true enemy of hype isn't criticism, it's familiarity. And if something is truly extraordinary, it should still feel special the second and third time in the same day. The transfer process begins, and again, there is no chaos. A representative meets me at the aircraft door and guides me through a private transit channel, bypassing crowds entirely. And this is where the psychology of premium travel becomes clear. The product, IS&T, just a seat. It's a protected bubble from the unpredictability of mass transportation. I re-enter the lounge hours later, not as a first-time visitor, but as a temporary resident, noticing details I missed before: lighting temperature, designed to reduce fatigue. Food constantly refreshed in small portions to look freshly prepared. Staff remembering passenger preferences without asking again. And suddenly, the experience feels less like a service and more like hospitality infrastructure. Something closer to a hotel operating inside an airport rather than an airline waiting area. But familiarity also exposes weaknesses. Menu variety repeats faster than expected. And while quality remains high, the surprise factor disappears, showing that even the best luxury has diminishing emotional returns boarding. The second long flight, I am no longer amazed by the suite door or screen size, because novelty has expired. Now only practicality matters: sleep quality, noise insulation, seat ergonomics after long use. And here the product faces its hardest test, because comfort judged over 10 minutes impresses. But comfort judged over 10 hours reveals truth. I convert the seat to a bed again and actually sleep this time, waking hours later without back pain or dehydration, which normally accompanies long flights, meaning the engineering works not only aesthetically, but physically. And that may be the first genuine justification of the price, because health and fatigue have real cost for frequent travelers. Service during the second flight becomes almost invisible. Crew interact less frequently, but more intelligently, appearing only when needed, adapting to my schedule rather than forcing theirs. And I notice something subtle. Luxury here is defined by absence. Absence of waiting, absence of discomfort, absence of decision-making. The airline removes tiny stresses one by one until travel stops feeling like a process and becomes background time. Yet at cruising altitude, I start calculating brutally honestly. Could 90% of travelers live happily without this? Absolutely yes. Economy passengers reach the same destination safely. Even business class on other airlines delivers flat beds for far less money. So the value isn't universal. It's specific to people who value time, privacy, and energy more than cash mid-flight. I intentionally test the limits: multiple custom meal requests, irregular timing extended, Wi-Fi usage, constant movement, and the system never breaks, which reveals the real reason for the high price. Consistency, not luxury materials, not marketing, but operational precision repeated thousands of times daily, something incredibly expensive to maintain. As the second landing approaches, I realize fatigue never truly accumulated despite spending nearly an entire day flying. And that changes the narrative completely, because normal travel consumes days, while this compresses travel into hours of usable energy. Arrival procedures repeat the smooth pattern. Priority exit, fast baggage, minimal friction, and suddenly the 24-hour experiment ends. Not dramatically, but quietly, which feels appropriate because the airline never tried to be loud. It tried to remove noise from the journey itself. Standing outside the terminal, I asked the final question honestly: was it worth $3,500 if you measure value by distance traveled? Absolutely not. The airplane did nothing a cheaper plane couldn't physically do. But if you measure value by human experience, stress eliminated, sleep preserved, productivity maintained, and mental fatigue avoided, then the answer becomes complicated. This airline doesn't sell transportation. It sells control over your time and comfort in an industry built on inconvenience. And that's why it feels overrated online, yet unforgettable in person. Because videos show luxury, while reality delivers relief. And relief is harder to film than gold trim or fancy meals, so is it as your most overhyped airline? Yes, for casual travelers chasing spectacle, but no for people chasing efficiency of life itself. The price isn't paying for champagne in the sky. It's paying to arrive feeling like you never traveled at all. And after 24 hours inside the system, I finally understand. The real product wasn't the seat, the food, or the service. The real product was giving a day of your life back to you. And whether that is worth $3,500 depends entirely on how valuable your time truly is.